So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes, their challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And this morning, I'm delighted to have with us Nicola Kingswell, who's co-founder and scientific director at Labskin. Nicola, firstly, thank you for spending your time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, Labskin, what you do, how you help people, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you very much for inviting me to take part in this. It's
Very
really
welcome.
exciting. I'm Nicola Kingswell. I am the scientific director and co-owner of Labskin Limited. We're a company based in York. We're at the York Biotech campus just out at Sandhutton on the A64.
Yes,
Yeah, if everybody's headed out towards Scarborough, there's that mysterious building on your uh,
absolutely.
on the A64. That's us. That's where we are. There's actually
Brilliant.
quite a lot of science here when you look behind the trees.
Yes, brilliant.
So the company's actually been here since about 2018 under a different name. So it was known previously as Innoven, who had the Labskin technology. So the
Yep.
Labskin technology was developed at the University of Leeds by two microbiologists who wanted to study the skin microbiome. So that's the community of microbes, viruses, and fungi that live on our skin. If you start
Wonderful.
to think about that too much, it makes your skin
Yeah,
crawl a
no,
little bit. Yeah.
I get that, but I know we know it's there, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like we know our understanding of the gut microbiome, the skin microbiome is really beneficial to our skin as well. So that's how the technology came around. It's a full thickness human skin equivalent that we grow in the lab. So we grow it from human cells. These are cells that are extracted by companies on our behalf from surgical plastic surgery operations. So it's
Okay.
usually things like tummy tucks and
Yeah.
breast reductions. So they take obviously lumps of skin tissue and then they extract out the different cell types. And we take those cells and reconstruct them into skin.
Wow.
Um, so a piece of skin in the lab, it looks about the size of your thumbnail. So it's quite small and about 1 centimeter thick. But it makes up all the top layers of our skin.
Yeah.
And what's unique with our model is that we can put the microbiome on the surface. It has a dry top layer like our skin.
Yes.
And so we can put products directly on there. We can put the microbiome on there. We can put all sorts on there. We can wound it. We can burn it. And we can look at how it heals as
Wow.
well. So yeah, it's a really fascinating product. But I bought the company last year. So I brought on board private investment and bought the company last year,
Yes.
which has been super exciting, really scary at some points. Um, yeah, so that's been fantastic. And I worked previously at Innoven as the scientific director.
Yep.
Not scientific director, I was the chief scientist.
Yep.
So now when I'm in scientific director, I can now do all those wonderful things that I wanted to do when I worked for somebody else. So all the research and development, all the innovations that I've wanted to do, I can now
Amazing.
do. Me and my team can now do.
Amazing. So, I mean, you know that what you've described is a layperson like me seems incredible and amazing. So,
Yeah.
what I mean, what the sort? I mean, I can just imagine so many different organisations wanting
Yeah.
to learn from the things that you can do with it. Are you able to share any sort of um, uh, commercial relationships you had, the sort of organisations you often work with?
Yeah, so we're really sort of work with anybody. We're really agnostic to who we work with. So we can
Yep.
work with companies that have developed a face cream. So we worked with a wonderful company um, who developed a face cream on the back of their mum having skin cancer.
Yep.
So they put together this face cream with some really nice active ingredients, and we did a bit of a study for them to show the benefits of their
Yes.
face cream. And then we work right through to massive global personal care companies that everybody's heard of. You'll have products in your own bathroom from them. And we work with them on finding new active ingredients, new formulations for them so that they're constantly innovating and bringing new things to the
Amazing.
market as well. So we do a lot of work with things like anti-acne and
Yep.
anti-dandruff. So we
Yes.
can we can grow the yeast that causes dandruff on lab skin. So we look at we look at anti-dandruff formulations, especially with things like the EU and the REACH directives tightening up on what compounds, what chemicals can be put into
Yep.
products. So companies are always looking for new innovations. And that's exciting as well, because quite often we're at the forefront of new innovations coming through in skincare, cosmetics. A buzzword at the moment seems to be exosomes. People using exosomes for delivery deeper into the skin. Well, we can show if that's true, if that really
Yep.
happened.
Yep. Oh my goodness! So I'm absolutely fascinated by all this. But if we started a little bit, Nicola, looking backwards, if you tell us you touched it a little bit, but a little bit more about your background, how you got into bit. Obviously, you bought the business, but how did all of that from your career moving up to that? Did that
Yeah.
how did that happen?
I, Really, I think a lot of it's been serendipity, my career.
Yes.
I often say I have a CV that's Marmite. You either like it or you hate it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I kind of knew when I was applying to go to university that I wanted to do something a little bit medical, a little bit biology, but I didn't really want to do medicine,
Yep.
which, I didn't really fancy 7 years at university training to be a doctor. So I actually did medical biochemistry at the University of Leicester,
Yep.
which was brilliant. It was all like the science behind medicine. Um, Loved it, absolutely loved it. It was a brilliant degree. And then I spent a year in industry at Amersham Biosciences, which is now GE Biosciences
Right.
in Amersham, just outside London. But I loved being in the lab environment, and that for
Yeah.
me was where I really wanted to be. I loved doing the experiments, working with the team, getting new data. It was fantastic.
Wonderful.
So I've had a number of roles really, starting at the bottom, being a technician, just working my way up for different companies, working for startups, right through to big global companies that lots of people have heard of, the likes of LabCorp and Smith and Nephew. Intertech, I built a team at Intertech over 4 years over in Manchester. And then I joined the previous company, the event company, the week we went into lockdown.
Right. Oh
Yeah, that was
goodness.
a great week to start,
That
wasn't
must
it?
have been a really interesting week. Yes.
Yeah. So I rocked up on site here at the labs and was kind of like, ta-da, it's my first day, and there was no one here.
No. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So that
What a
was
day.
really weird.
What a week to start.
Yeah, but luckily, we were classed sort of as one of the key businesses. And
Yes.
so we were classed as key workers. So there was a little bubble of us that were always in the labs, which is absolutely wonderful because, starting a new job, you got to meet a core
Yeah.
team and work really closely. We were that little bubble working in the labs, and
Brilliant.
it was great fun. And that sort of introduced me to the Labskin technology and what we were doing and what we could do. And so it was a little bit of a frustration for me that we weren't always able to do all the R&D, all the innovations, bringing out new models that I wanted to do.
Yes.
Um, and I actually left. So the company started to unravel really in around 2022. And I left and went to work in a startup in Sheffield as an ops manager. Loved
Right.
it, brilliant.
Yep.
Loved working in startup because you wear every single hat going.
Yes.
You
Yes.
you you bootstrapping, you're hustling, you're always trying to blag
Yep.
something for nothing, which yeah, as a Yorkshire woman, quite good at
Brilliant.
that. Yeah.
Brilliant. And
Um,
sorry, go on.
yeah, and then I'd sort of kept in touch with the team that were still working in the business who started to say, oh, it's starting to wind down, they're letting people go, we're not sure what the future is. So I started to put out a few feelers. I put together a bit of a pitch deck about where I knew the business was at and what I felt the future could look like for it. I pitched it to some US investors, someone I'd worked with previously, who was like, yeah, this is brilliant. However, you're asking for too little money for us. They wanted like tens of millions to put
Yes.
in, and I was asking for a tiny portion of that.
Oh,
Lesson
fabulous.
learned, always ask for far more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Did you do the deal with them or did they recommend?
No, it was a really unusual way I found investors. So I went on a government business innovation partnership, a GBIP trip funded by Innovate UK as
Yep.
part of the company I was working for in Sheffield. I went to Canada to sort of pitch that company to Canadian companies.
Yes.
And one of the guys that was in my cohort from the UK, we got chatting over dinner, and I said, oh, I knew of his company because they're like a similar company to Labskin. And I said, "Oh, did you know Labskin was going into administration?" And he said, "Oh no." I said, "Oh, I've been trying to buy it, but I'm not having much luck." And he knew somebody, put me in contact with it,
Brilliant.
and brought on board some private investment. Yeah,
Brilliant. As you say, serendipity,
yeah,
you hadn't gone on that. Wonderful. Wonderful.
yeah,
Well done. I mean, it's that sounds like it, that in itself, just that part is quite fascinating. But obviously,
yeah. Oh,
fascinating.
yeah. It was interesting because I'd been helping a few people that were sort of interested in buying the business, so they
Yes.
would have bought it, and I'd have probably just helped as a consultant or facilitate that purchase. But to
Yes.
actually be there and buy it and actually put my money where my mouth is as well.
Yes. Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
It focuses the mind, doesn't it?
yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
so I mean, growing up, is this where you foresaw yourself being, or did you have other plans when you were
No,
younger?
no. As a sort of teenager, well, as a kid and a teenager, I was fascinated by animals. I still am a bit of an animal mad person. We've got 6 rescue rabbits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my other half won't have cats. I'd be that mad cat woman, but yeah, we've got rabbits.
Brilliant.
Um, and I wanted to be a vet, and I spent all my sort of summers and weekends working with the local vet, even
Lovely.
doing things like rescuing dogs that had fallen in the sewage works, that kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Brilliant.
I really, really wanted to be a vet, but then when it came to A levels, because there's so few universities in the UK that actually do veterinary science, I think there's
Yes.
only 5 or 6. I
Yeah.
needed 5 A's at A level, and there was no way I was going to get that.
No. I,
I wasn't even doing 5A levels and stuff. There was no chance.
I was the same, funny enough. It was something I wanted to be, but I just realized I wasn't going to be able to achieve that. And it's exactly
Yeah.
that.
And it's
Um,
such a shame because really it's not I don't think it's a fully academic career, is it? It's more
no.
about, I mean, the hours you work and the things you have to do, it's very much vocational. And
Yes.
it's having that ability to work with animals and people.
Yep. Would
And
agree.
sometimes in some tough situations,
Yeah.
And that side of things, I think I would have been good at. So it is a bit of
Yes.
a shame, but yeah,
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Very very similar for me too. It was just I think it would have been something I would have really enjoyed, but it was just that
yeah,
the barrier to entry. I totally get that.
me
Um.
too. Yeah, and
so-
actually reflecting on it now, you sort of think if I was going to university now, would I go knowing the amount of debt I would go into? And actually, I don't think I would. I would probably explore being a veterinary nurse and go that route.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, my youngest daughter, I've got two. One's been through college, and one's about to go, and yeah, that whole conversation about coming out the other side with significant debt is quite a challenge.
yeah,
When yeah, we'll see what the future of things like AI and stuff give us in terms of access to knowledge and thinking of
yeah,
thought. It'll be an interesting next 10 years. Well, next 20 years, I guess, but wait and
yeah.
see.
I think there's a lot to be said actually for trying to secure a really good
Yes.
apprenticeship. So the previous company, we did have some really good apprentices. In fact, one of the apprentices I hired has come back to the business to work
Oh,
for me.
brilliant,
Yeah. So I
lovely.
think that's a really good way of getting skills and learning on the job, and actually, you get paid for it as well, which is
You
great.
get paid for it and you don't end up with debt. So it
Yeah,
really
it's
is
a
something
win-win, isn't it?
I honestly agree with you. I think it's a difficult decision nowadays, I think, for young
Yeah,
people to do that. And I admire the ones that do. But
yeah.
yeah. So looking over, obviously buying the business and to date, what are some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome, Nicola?
So I think some of the biggest challenges we've had to overcome are the association with the previous company. So the way it
Right.
ended left
Right.
a lot of like the suppliers and actually
Yes.
previous clients with a little bit of a bad taste
Yes.
because it just went overnight.
Yes.
So that's been a bit of a hurdle trying to go, yeah, we're not them. Um, it is the same
Yes.
technology, but um, give us a chance. So some of the ex-clients we've reached out to, it's just been a blank wall.
Yep.
But some of them have just embraced it, saying we really loved the product and what it did. So yeah, we welcome you coming back. And
Yeah.
also saying that, we're the team that were there and we we're now a scientific company run by scientists. So
Yes,
we're really excited about what we can do. And I think that's actually been very helpful.
brilliant.
Cash flow. It's the usual three: people, cash flow, and time. Those are the ones that are always the issue, aren't they? For every small business, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we work with businesses well across the world actually, but yeah, it's the same three things, and most things come from there. Even if it's something a bit more refined, it's still those typically the root, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And and whether it's from your challenges or your successes, what would you say you've learned about growing a business?
Ask for help. Always ask for
Great.
help.
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought, yeah, I knew it all. As you do. Yeah. But no, and I've been so lucky that the my co-investors have brought very different aspects to the business as well. So
Brilliant.
they let me lead on the science. I'm very lucky that two of them they call themselves bean counters, but they're really experienced accountants and
Yeah.
financial directors. So the
Brilliant.
money side of thing is something I don't have to
Yeah.
really think about too much. That's all taken care of. The other one's really into marketing and commercialization. So having that head on is really good.
Brilliant.
And then we've brought on ancillary people as well. So, I didn't need a full HR person. So I outsourced to a local HR company. Same for IT, same for marketing as well. So bringing people in that can help, and
Yeah.
asking for help as well, asking my network for help when
Yes.
needed has been has been amazing. Yeah.
It's a really important one, isn't it? Is that most, and it's a real feature of most successful people that I've met and worked with actively want to help other people.
Yeah.
It is like almost like a tick mark for someone that's successful. Whereas, and it's almost the reverse that people that are less successful often are trying to, they're always worried
Yeah.
about competitive nature, and I can't tell, I wouldn't want to help anybody else because that might be to my disadvantage, and it's a very negative mindset, whereas that open, abundant mindset of love to share, love to help,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
is a real facet, and we see that time and time again.
Yeah, I've been really lucky that quite a lot of people have imparted some knowledge. And I think the company I was working for previously in Sheffield, I learned so much as well about that sort of startup space. Um,
Yes,
so that, being able to hustle for things has come with me, which
yeah,
yeah.
gotta, we need it. There's that. I always talk to people about this sort of, most businesses that grow at a same percentage, that gives us that exponential curve. And
Yeah.
and the chat the first phase of that establishment and survival is survival. It's like every
Yeah.
decision could be there's a lot of fear. Every decision could be last. We've got to really watch every penny,
Yeah.
and absolutely, and we've just got to work really hard, and hopefully we'll start to get on that sort of upward ramp. Uh,
Yeah.
what I find interesting is that when we get on that upward ramp, it's really important to start to convert our mindset from a that sort of survival mindset into an investment mindset, into I've got to watch the money, but I still need to think
Yeah.
about investing for growth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think actually when the money does start to come in, because we're sort of at that nice point now where we've been revenue generating for a year, but we've now been profit making for about
Brilliant.
8 months, which is great.
Well done.
Um, but still keeping that is the things we can do to keep the cost down, that sort of lean mentality.
Yep.
Like this week, I needed to order a new water bath for the lab, and a scientific water bath. It's a bit like science is a bit like weddings. If we put science in front of it, there's a premium, like weddings, there's a premium.
Oh, I
So
like
scientific,
that.
so a scientific water bath is about £600. I bought one from a catering supply as a bain marie, a big bain marie, £100.
Brilliant. Love it. Yeah, you bang on. It's I remember I don't do so much fishing as I used to, but it's quite not quite the same scale, but with fishing. And I
Yeah,
remember buying I could get scales to where you catch or where you fish.
yeah,
In a fishing shop was like this much money, and if you just go online and just get scales,
scales,
uh,
yeah.
it's like a third of the price. You're right, you bang on. It's just like just add it on because it's considered specialist. Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. So there's things like that, and then just Just really keeping an eye on the costs and things. Are there places we can get some of
Yes,
our consumables that little bit cheaper? Well, not cheaper, but a bit more cost effective. Can we look at bulk buying things to get the best deals, really?
yes,
So that's something I'm always really keen on. And also with growing the team as well. So we've gone from me and one other last April, and we're going to be at 10 people at the start of October,
brilliant.
which is
Well,
fantastic.
well done.
And mostly I've been able to cherry pick my whole team to come back.
Great, great.
Um, but it's making sure we're bringing people in at the right point as well. Like we've got that pull from the business, we've got that pull from our clients. That means that bringing someone in isn't going to be detrimental to the cash flow as well.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because as you say, it is, but it feels like it's going to be a big hit to cash, and
Yeah,
I often work with people, and they'll say something like, "Oh, it's 50 grand." Yeah, so I'm 50 grand. And I said, "Well, it's actually 4 grand a month."
yeah,
And it's think about it, it's only 50 grand after a year or 100 or whatever it is,
yeah, yeah,
and it's been able to take a step back because I said if they're not if they're not the right people, your investment's probably only going to be 10 12
yeah,
grand, and
yeah.
I think it's important. And the other rule of thumb we've always operated on is recruit people when you can half afford them
Oh,
rather
okay.
than fully afford them. If you wait till you fully afford them, it's
It's too
often too
late.
late.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
two, sorry,
yeah. Yeah, we've been really careful with that, bringing people and trying to bring people in at the right points.
yes,
And bringing making sure we've got that culture in place. Although we've not really defined what our culture is per se, just making sure that this is a nice place for people to work. So that's
yes.
something I'm really sort of passionate about, is that people side of things as well.
Yeah, I can sort of tell talking to you that that's important. One thing I would suggest, if it's any help, as you grow, you say you'll be 10. As you grow, documenting the culture is really key,
Yeah,
because the people here already know it. The new
yeah,
person coming in, if they don't, then you
yeah,
see mismatches of culture. Just silly things like somebody coming in 10 minutes late every day.
yeah,
And people start to go, well, what's going on? Not seeing
yeah,
they actually stay an hour late at the end. And because here we're 9 to 5, whatever it is, and
yeah,
people, you can really get mismatches of culture, which can really damage a business and a team without needing to, if it's
yes,
documented, if that makes sense. It's really fast.
yeah,
It's not a problem when there's 4 or 5 of you because you all know each other so well. You know the pros, the cons.
yeah.
It's almost a bunch of friends, isn't it? But once we get past 10, certainly past 20,
Yeah.
it's a different level of management, and that's
Yeah, we've got a workshop booked in next week actually. I'm using someone I've known for years, Matt at Black Ink HR, and he's coming on board to facilitate like doing our vision, mission, values, and culture, but
brilliant.
also relating those to personality,
Yep,
so and behaviors. So we
brilliant.
might pick a value, but what does that mean? How you express it on a daily basis? How do you show that within
Brilliant.
the team? So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that'll be really excited.
Yeah, I think it's great, and also the as you said, being really specific and clear, because the same word can have lots of different meanings for different
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
Whether I remember doing an exercise of that, and someone said, well, what if I use the word, let's say, love, what other 5 words could you associate with
yeah,
love? And everyone's different. Everyone's was different.
yeah,
The odd overlap of one word, but most of the time it's like totally different. So okay, so right, okay, something that you might say, well, it's obvious what it is, or
yeah.
trust, or and so no, brilliant. I hope that goes well for you. That's wonderful. And in terms of sort of learning and things and support, you mentioned support before, which is great. I think you're aware we're a business coaching organisation. I'm keen
Yeah.
to know who the best coaches you've worked with, whether that's business, sport, life in general. Who's had the biggest impact on you?
So I was very lucky when I was exploring buying the business at the start of last year, that I was able to get a coach, a business coach through
Brilliant.
York Council, through the Biorenewable Centre. And he was absolutely amazing. Because about 6 weeks into having bought the business, my mum had a heart attack.
Oh goodness.
Um, and I had to sort of down tools and go to her. And she lives in Cornwall, which is super
Oh,
handy. Yeah. So he was amazing in supporting me on a personal level, but also giving me, tips and ideas and support for the
Yes.
team as well, because I had to just step away,
Yes.
and the people that were here just picked up the pieces and ran with it.
Yes.
Um, Not ideal, but actually, in many ways, I think it worked out okay because um, it kind of showed that they could manage without me, and they weren't always looking to me then for all the
Yeah.
answers. They had to make some decisions.
Yeah, no, it's sort of a good, we obviously wouldn't want that to be the reason to do it, but it's actually taking a step back from the business on a regular basis
Yeah.
is quite good. I believe, I'm not sure this is true, but I'll anecdotally, I believe that one or two of the high street banks make make team members take 2 weeks holiday, like 2 weeks, and
Oh,
just
okay.
just to see are they actually making a difference if they're not there, which is quite an interesting thing. But,
Wow.
but yeah, not particularly picking anybody, but so look, you will because it's like yeah, so it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
But
It's funny that because one of my definitions of success in any roles that I've had is that the team that I have built and that I have supported, if I can step away and they'd manage without me. So, could I be made redundant and it not impact on the team and the business? And
brilliant.
that's kind of a definition of success. If I'm redundant in my role, then I've done my job in building that team.
Bang
Hard though
on.
when you do get made redundant.
Well, yeah, well, yeah, there is that. I guess there's that danger, but 100%, and it's something we find a lot of in terms of many people's psychology is become indispensable, Be and that's their route to success and value. The
Yeah,
challenge is you get stuck in that role because if you're indispensable, we can't be replaced.
yeah,
So our job should be, if we want to develop our careers, to become dispensable by effective
yeah,
obligation. So in general, hopefully, we move to the next level up rather than
yeah.
necessarily out. But that can happen. But then, in all honesty, if you were made redundant, you probably wasn't the right business anyway. I'm sure you did a lot better. Um, I got made redundant from my first job, which is the best thing ever happened to me because I would no way be doing this if it
Ah,
hadn't been.
amazing. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm totally delighted with that. And it's interesting actually. So our definition of a true business is a commercial profitable enterprise that works without its owners.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's a job. Could be well paid job we love, but it's a job.
yeah,
I know it's quite early days in
yeah.
developing the business, but how do you feel about that as a true definition of a business?
No, I think that is right. Yeah, and it's something I'm sort of considering at the moment because I'm very much working in the business rather than
Yes.
on the business, and
Yep.
trying to do that step away. And then sort of, we focus a lot on what's the next 3, 5 years bring, so that future planning and how will my role evolve and
Yes.
how will the team come up behind me, and then who will we need to be the key players?
Brilliant.
Where will the gaps appear? Who will
Brilliant.
we need to bring on board? So doing that sort of mapping, and then also thinking, well, what will my role be, and what value will I bring um, to the business as well as my role changes. So
Yes.
that it's really exciting. It's really
Yeah.
interesting. It's a really interesting thing to do rather than getting stuck in the weeds of the day to day.
Absolutely. For me, leadership is the most valuable thing we can do ultimately
Yeah,
because it impacts more people than any other thing we could do in the organization.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, but if that, yeah, that's not always why we started a business. So it's just
no,
understanding that, and if that's not for us, then having a leader that can inspire and engage and maintain the culture, which is another key role for the leadership, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because we're probably going to bring on board, in the next 12, 18 months, probably going to bring on board a CEO.
Yeah.
And that probably isn't me. I'll be honest, it probably isn't me. My skills and my focus is probably better utilized somewhere else. I could probably do it, but it wouldn't be the best fit, and it's probably not the best fit to business or for me.
Yes.
So
I,
it's yeah, let's
I
look at who we would bring on board and where my skill set is. Yeah,
we I find a lot of great founders and starters don't make as great, a better focusing on that.
Yeah,
than the running and the steady growth of a business, if that makes
yeah,
sense. You entrepreneurial people tend to want to start, and
yeah.
then it's great to hand over. And I see too often people hold on to feeling the need to run it and grow it when they're not really good at it.
No,
And they don't really enjoy it. It's the deal. It's like
no,
doing
no.
something now. I love the bit when we started it, the excitement,
Yeah,
it's the fun to get it going, a bit of, but now it's just a bit the same. Um, and,
yeah,
and it's just like, yeah, just do what you love. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's Brian Tracy talked about the most successful organizations being the ones where most people spent most of the time doing the three things they really love and they're really good at.
yeah.
Get rid of
Uh,
everything else.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I
Yeah.
am such a I have such a great starter mindset.
Yes.
Uh, so scoping project, I love talking to the clients, scoping the projects, putting the project plans in
Brilliant.
place, kicking everything off. And then I need the team to deliver
Yep.
the end bit because I've lost interest by that point.
Absolutely. What's next? And
Yeah,
the key thing to recognise, Nicola, which I think you have, but Nick, to recognise is that is a whether it's we call it a skill or a identity trait, which is very special. It's
yeah.
only a small number of the population have that trait.
Oh,
Lots of great. Well, yeah, no, I mean
mm,
it is a compliment. It should be, but it is. It's very
yeah,
many people are good at taking something and making it better over time
yeah,
and running it and keeping it safe and secure and stable. But very few people can see the opportunity, um, get clarity on it, and take the action in, as in,
yeah,
for example, to make that happen. Um,
exactly. And there's so much I want to do with the business. So like we've had the one Labskin product for such a long time, and there's so much more I want to do with it. So
Brilliant.
we're bringing on board a pigmented model, so matching different skin tones, different
Right.
ethnicities, and that,
Okay.
and then we've just got an innovative grant to create a skin cancer model,
Wow.
um, and then can we create models for psoriasis, eczema? Can we put immune cells in there? Can we put blood vessels in there? Can we make the best I want that to be my legacy is can we make the best lab grown skin equivalent that we can
Wow.
possible?
This brilliant. Fantastic. What an exciting future.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
So I like to I like to collect quotes about success in business in general. It's just something I do. But do you have any favorite quotes or sayings that you catch yourself using on a regular basis?
Oh, um,
Don't worry if you don't, because some people do.
I think one of my favorites is "It's been a good day, nobody died."
Yeah, great.
It's always good.
You see, that's the identity of a start of a startup of a founder. It's like it's a great and nobody died because it's like we didn't know at the start of the day. It's brilliant. No, wonderful.
Yeah, that's us. And then it is what it is. We use that quite a lot because people will come to us with ideas of what their product will do. So they come with ideas and they expect us to show X, Y, and Z. And if we do the science and we do the science properly and it doesn't show X, Y, and Z, we often get questioned like why did not that happen? And it's like we've done everything right. This hasn't done that. And that's the
Yeah,
science. And it is what it is. The science has shown that this is the answer. And so yeah, we use it is what it is quite a lot as
brilliant.
well. Yeah.
And do you have any favorite books or podcasts that you read or listen
I
to?
absolutely adore the High Performance podcast.
Brilliant.
I think that's amazing. I've listened to some fantastic ones on there. Um, like recently, I think I revisited the Adrian Newey one. What a
Yes.
fascinating man! What a
Yeah, yeah.
fascinating man! But then even people I've not heard of, have been on have been brilliant. So yeah, that's an absolute favourite of mine.
Brilliant. Yeah, they're
Is
great
the High
guys.
Performance one.
We had them. Well, that was funny enough in lockdown. We had them presenting at one of our conferences. It
Oh, amazing!
must have been 5 years ago because it was going. It was.
Yeah,
We still run it. We would do a 2 day business conference every year for anything between 1,500 and 2,000 people, and we've had some amazing speakers on there, and they were good. We had them obviously booked in, and then COVID hit, so we did
yeah,
an online version, which was great. It's quite challenging, especially for some of the speakers that do rely on audience, not participation as much as feedback, if you like.
yeah,
But it was great. It was still great, and obviously it was something that was important to do to keep people inspired and educated. So no,
yeah.
really brilliant guys. And Nicola, speaking of learning, what would you say you've learned about yourself throughout your journey so far?
Um, I think I've been surprised by how tenacious I've been. Actually, how resilient and tenacious. And I think I do really have a positive mental outlook on things. I always try and see the positive in
Yeah,
everything, in every situation. And I think that's just the right way to be. Things happen and you just can't take it personally. You just have to bounce, don't you? You just have to get on with things. Um, and I've actually been really surprised by how strong I have and how
brilliant.
how I how I've fought for this business and
Yeah,
brought it on board. Um, and I think one of the most flattering things has been the team coming back and wanting to work with me.
brilliant.
And when I thought this might actually happen, the first person I phoned up was a guy I'd recruited to do the Labskin cell biology side in the old company, and I rang him. I was stood in the stage door of Sheffield Crucible Theatre. I was stood at the stage door. It was bouncing down with rain, and I rang him and I said, "I'm thinking of doing this. Will you come back?" And he said, "If it was anybody else asking, no, but because it's you, yeah."
Cool.
And that to me is just like, oh. And
Brilliant.
and then one of my team did say to me the other day, the whole reason we're all here is you.
That's leadership. That's,
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
yeah.
That's
And that's all I can ask for, really. I want to build a really great company where people really want to work and will give their all, but enjoy what they're doing and really thrive and enjoy what they're doing.
brilliant. It's a big part of why I do what I do is to help people. Because you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people in business think they to be successful they have to not enjoy what they're doing. Like, I said,
Yeah.
they put the life on hold for 10 years and hope the money turns up eventually.
Yeah.
And, and for me, it's just nuts because if we create organizations and teams that are enjoying what they do, loving what they do, we typically get there faster,
Yeah.
more profitable, more effectively, and enjoy it. It's just
Yeah.
like it just is a virtuous circle. Yet I think too many people think they've got to not enjoy it and tolerate
Yeah.
the difficult side, or and it just doesn't need to be. I think, and
No.
it's a big passion of mine to help people really get the fact that it's okay. I think it's almost like a inbuilt in the human in the human condition that we have to sort of find a way not to enjoy things. Uh,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
and and it just doesn't. And I think, in fact, if it helps, there's a book I think you'd really like, given what you've just said, and it's called The Happiness Advantage.
Oh, okay, I'll check that out.
and
Yeah.
and and it's got research evidence of why creating a happy environment is more effective and profitable. So it's literally giving the
Yeah.
outcome for for whether it's business people, sports teams. It's showing that creating that happiness is
Yeah.
really quite valuable. I don't know how detailed the evidence is, so I've just realised I'm talking to a scientist. So you might go, well, it's not a big enough sample to show me that. But the point being is, if we believe it, why should we make it happen anyway?
Yeah.
It's almost like it, but it was quite interesting because it does not. It's a book I found going, yeah, I agree with that, agree with that, agree with that, and then it says, and here's some examples of how that has been demonstrated, which I thought, well, that's great because it's not just confirming my beliefs; it's giving me some evidence
Yeah.
behind it. So that's a great book.
Oh no, I will.
Send you the
I'll
link.
check that out. Yeah. I love audiobooks. So I
Brilliant.
download a lot of like coaching and leadership books and listen to them.
Brilliant.
I find that really good. Yeah. I love to read a novel, but I like to listen to
Yes.
non-fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. In fact, I listened to of that book. I listened to the audio first, and then I bought the book purely because there's some exercises in the book that are
Ah,
quite
right.
useful
Yeah.
to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I definitely listen to it first, and then just if it's useful, download the
Yeah.
rules, etc. And I'm keen to know, Nicola, what you'd say to anyone that was thinking of going into business right now.
Um, I would say do it. If you've got a really good idea, you've thought it through, you've got the right people around you, then do it. Take that leap of faith. In many ways, I wish I'd done it years ago. Um, but I guess I just didn't have as much confidence in myself. But having worked, I suppose for me, it's a bit I'm I'm a bit different as a startup because I'd worked in the business and understood the clients and the technology and could see where it could go. So to buy the assets and
Yes.
then to be taking it where I want to go, it's slightly different. Yeah, but I do in many ways wish I'd done it years ago. I mean, there are days where I do question my life choices, but it's been one of the best things I've done,
Brilliant.
and I'm really looking forward to the journey and where we're going to take this, and to see where we end up, where the business grows.
Absolutely. Sounds amazing. And if you started, I'm just considering if you started again, you go back over this last 2 or 3 years, is there anything significantly you do differently, do you think?
Um, that's I think I'd have asked more questions at the start. So I was just super excited that got investment and we were
Yeah,
doing this. And I was just like,
brilliant.
it's happening, it's great, let's do it. And actually, I think I might have taken a step back and paused and mapped it a little bit more and put a bit more thought and structure in place rather than just going, yeah, brilliant, this might happen. And then turning around when it did happen, went, oh, okay.
Wonderful. But you see, I have to say, I think if what am I going to say? Because this needs to come out as a compliment because it is a compliment. It's like I think the challenge of, you've clearly got a real let's make it happen behavior,
Yeah.
and the let's research, let's do a lot of research beforehand probably doesn't fit with that behavior, and it's like
No.
you almost only have one, and if you can only have one, which would you have, sort of thing. If that makes
Yeah.
sense, because it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
much a compliment because it is just like great, we're going to crack on.
Yeah.
Because the challenge is, I often say to people, they say, "Oh, well, I'll think about it, whatever it might be," and I say, "Well, the challenge is, in general, we're going to think about why not to do something, rather than why to do something."
Yeah, and actually that goes back to like one of what you said about do we have quotes we use often. Yeah, I do use just do it a lot when like when the team come and say, can we do this? Can we do that? Should we look at this? And I'm like, just do it. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't
Absolutely,
work, but what do you learn from that?
absolutely. No, brilliant. And final question: what would be the best advice you could give an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time and do that, Nicola?
Oh, right. Well, it would be stay away from the Frontier nightclub on your 19th birthday because that's when I met my ex.
Right.
What advice would I give 18-year-old me? Um, always follow your heart because I
Good.
think as long as any decision you make sits well in your heart and feels right in your gut, rather than it being like the correct or the right decision for your brain, your brain says that's the logical one to do. Always follow your gut and your heart, and you'll always be happy.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
What a great what a great advice for anybody. Absolutely. Follow me out and be happy. Um, well, Nicola, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you, and congratulations on everything you've achieved. That's
Thank
quite a
you.
journey already, and I'm sure there's so much more as you've highlighted to come. So, would be
Yeah.
great, absolutely brilliant to come back and talk in another 6 and 12 months and just see how the new
Oh, definitely.
product lines
Yeah.
are going and watch it. But for anyone watching would like to get in touch with you or your company, what's the best way of doing that?
Yeah, so our website is www.labskin.co.uk, or you can email us at info@labskin.co.uk. And I monitor that email inbox, so you probably get me replying.
Right, brilliant.
And I'm on LinkedIn a
There's
lot. Yeah.
there's a business coaching comment. I'll have to stop for that one about being you connected to the info because that should be somebody else's job. But anyway, I'll go over that. But for now, look, I thank you so much for your time, and as I say, I'm sure and hope we speak again soon.
Oh, definitely. Please do keep in touch, Chris. It's
Thank
been
you.
fantastic talking to you. I've really enjoyed
Brilliant.
it.
You too.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.